So, I really should not have spent the past 3 hours streaming. Kind of a maybe. Is she not a noble? That's why she was sent to kill her? I get confused at the end of episode 1. They strongly think her noble dad. Oh. Intense gameplay. Yes, I'm sorry for the intense gameplay. Oh my god, seriously? Hello, everybody. There was something I needed to do and I totally forgot. I just remembered what it was. I need to create something for Nightbot real quick. Luckily, someone did the timer. So what I was going to do is I need to give a fresh Discord link. That's all it is. Because I don't want any permanent links available to my Discord. Alright, it's all good to go. Okay, everybody. Official fastest leveler in the game right now. In my brand new bow. I need to clean up my bags a little bit. So while I do that, I'm going to have my mic kind of above my head. What is the world's hungriest animal? Probably your mom.
I have just the thing for you.
Oh my god, this is the first time he's given me a treat. And it's useless. General goods.
What can I help you with?
Yes, I'd like to sell my old bow because it's now useless, binds when equipped. I should sell this on the auction house. That seems decent. I don't want to. I'm just gonna vendor it. I haven't been able to sell my greens in a while. What the fuck is this? Oops, I shouldn't say bad words. Forget I said that. Let's see, restores mana while drinking. Which one restores more? They restore the exact same amount. Except this one vendors for more. Let's move this over here and get rid of my tiger meat. Let's get rid of the large fang. Let's move this up here, I guess. Same with the heavy stone and this. I don't know what the hell this is. I don't need raptor eggs. More crap in my bags.
Farewell.
Okay. I'm good. Gross, stinky streamer. That's not very nice. Are you guys here just to hurt my feelings? Who needs sleeping? Hey, hello there. I missed a lot of hellos. Just pretend I said hi back to all of you and I didn't ignore you in order to fix my inventory. It's Jacob. No one knows who that is. I have a feeling this was a clickbait title. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm telling people not to watch, and yet people still watch anyway. Hey, it's not my fault. Hi, dude. I love your videos. Why, thank you. You guys are so nice. Oh, I play on the same server as you, 44 troll server. Ever thought about making a guild? I have thought about it, in the fact that I'm not gonna do it, if that counts. Back when you had to worry about mana consuming, I rarely actually drink anything. If I run out of mana, I just auto-shoot for a couple of pulls. By the way, Hiru, Candace wanted me to tell you that she is super thankful for the tips. Okay. 2 questions. Who's Candace? And what tips? Change your pet, please. This is the best pet. Alright, ASMR, time to sleep. What level is he? I'm level 37. Candice, fit in your mouth. Ooh. Oh. You know, that makes more sense. Morning from Sweden, Hero. Gonna throw a fastball question. As we have been waiting so long for Classic, and so many creators been so avid about it, what is it that do many rush? Why is it that many rush? Oh, I don't know, because people are just, you know, it's just like gamer logic. People like to rush in order to beat the game. They don't like to take their time. You know, same thing with whenever a new WoW expansion comes out, you know, the real content's at max level, so you kind of want to hit max level as soon as possible. That's not really the case for Classic. People know this, and yet they still race to max level anyway. Just because, you know, they want to be max level. That's all it is. They want to feel like they've beaten the game, where they can start at max level shit, and then they find out, oh, there's not a lot to do at max level in vanilla WoW during phase 1. Well, oopsie doopsies. Any new villains corner in the work? Yeah. There's one in the works right now for Void Lords. It's shaping up to be a pretty interesting video. I'm excited to see it work. Hi everyone. It's like all the people raging over the new corruption stuff. If they want to be literally within 0.1% optimal, it's going to be a lot of RNG. It seems like the people who are the most vocal about these kinds of things are the kinds of people who pay raid bots in order to get faster simulation times. Like, I've only, you know, there's like this website that can sim all of your gear and your bags in order to tell you what, you know, is your most optimal thing. And it's such a popular website, even though it's inconvenient, that, like, he has a Patreon where he, one of the features of it is you can skip the queue, because so many people use the feature. So, like, you know, there's a huge culture in WoW in order to min-max. But I don't think it's that big. I just think the people who love to min-max are also very vocal about it. So they're going to complain the loudest about features like this, when really, the real audience, the thing Blizzard is putting everything towards, is the more casual audience. It doesn't go to forums and complain about these things very loudly. But, you know, it kind of trickles down. Like, the people who complain the loudest about these kinds of things, they're going to convince the people who don't really care. But, you know, since everybody's saying it's bad, they'll just think it's bad too. And then they'll go into it with a negative mindset, and, you know, they'll just start looking for all the negative things about it. It's like, ugh, God, I can't believe I have to sim my gear now. Ugh, I can't believe this is what's replacing Titan Forge. It's like, whatever. I'm excited for it. Oh no, my throat hurts. It's sad, really. The journey is the adventure, I think. Hey, for some people, they don't give a shit about leveling. They just want to hit max level and do max level things. And if that's the case, I mean, really, retail WoW is probably what they would like better. Because max level content in BFA is better than vanilla WoW max level content. They also have WoW Progress, Raid Bots, Warcraft. Yeah, they have a lot of shit. A lot of shit I don't use. You know, I really should, though. It's not like I want to be a bad player. I just kind of have an aversion to it. Besides looking up normal guides and stuff. Because I don't really need to min-max my character as a healer. That's more of a DPS thing, and most players are DPS. They're the ones who care about that the most. Because healing is like so fluid, like it's, you know, if you're a damage dealer, you always want to do the most amount of damage on every fight. You know, that's a given. So you want to get as any boost possible to get the highest amount of damage. You know, because people really like to compete on Warcraft logs. They like to do a whole bunch of damage and then see how well they did against everyone else in the world. But for healing, like, if you look at the Dis Priest logs for Mythic Azara, her name's Azara, right? Yeah. You notice that a lot of them are running like DPS trinkets and like DPS traits and stuff. They're not even like, this is for the healing logs, mind you, not the ones for like DPS Dis priests. Like on the healing logs, you see all of the top priests, you know, taking a whole bunch of DPS talents, and it's not because that gave them higher healing. It's just because that fight, you know, they didn't need very much healing. So the healers could take as much DPS things as they wanted, and it just happened to be all of the best Dis priests in the world were all like forced into having to DPS as much as possible for that fight. So it kind of like leveled the playing field against each other, where, you know, if they're all not playing optimally for healing because they don't need it, then like what's the point in trying to optimally heal when you're just going to take a whole bunch of DPS talents anyway? And there's not even a lot to heal in the fight, and, you know, you can't even really sim it for high numbers anyway. And what even really, what's the point? And as people get more gear, the less healing you need to do. It's just like, you do want to know how to play your class, but you don't really need to min-max as a healer. If anything, you kind of want to be more versatile. That way you can do things like take a whole bunch of DPS trinkets and talents for like one boss fight where it would help out more than, you know, getting higher healing numbers. Whereas, you know, DPS players, they're always just trying to get the most DPS possible. Versatile. I can't take it. Yeah, I know. This is like, you know, a majority of players in the game are DPS. So almost all of the material you see online about how to play WoW and all this stuff, it's all geared towards DPS players. Because that's what most people are. So for me, like, I main a healer, and all of this stuff doesn't really apply to me. For, like, various reasons. Like, sure, there is still min-maxing when it comes to healing, but it's just not as big of a deal as it is for DPS players, because healing is just so much different. You still obviously want to find out, you know, during burst phases, what can you do in order to do the max amount of healing possible? Or, like, you know, how would you heal a tank the best? How do you squeeze out the most amount of DPS while also keeping the raid alive? You know, like those kinds of things. But that's just a completely different mindset than just trying to min-max your gear in order to get everything out perfectly. I appreciate the Disc Priest talk. Educate me. Heck yeah, Disc Priests are the best. Even though for the last raid tier I had to go Shadow. You know, we had too many healers. This is a very rare problem that pops up occasionally, where we have too many healers. So I volunteered to go DPS. Because, like, to be frank, none of the other healers had good DPS specs. And, you know, some of the other ones were just, like, really good. Like, out of all the healers we have, they're all good. You know, like, all of us. So it's not even the case of, like, having the lowest healer go DPS. It's more like whoever is the highest DPS should go DPS. And that was unfortunately my Shadow Priest at the time, because Shadow was really good in Najara. You know, in the Eternal Palace. So I went I went Shadow for that raid tier. And I should say, being Shadow for one tier of raiding, man, it is a completely different way of playing the game. Like, I was min-maxing everything. I was actually looking at Warcraft logs. I was even playing with the DPS meters open during the raid, which I, like, never do. Because, like, why the hell do you need to see that shit during the middle of a raid? And I totally understand now as a DPS player. It just, like, it's a completely different game when you're trying to maximize DPS than when you're just healing. Because, you know, maximizing heals isn't really a thing because you can't constantly heal. Like, a lot of fights, there's a lot of downtime where you don't heal anything. Is this an alt? No, this is my main character. Let's see. Oh yeah, Hero, did you watch Pilav's video on WoW Classic raiding guild / streamers? It was quite funny and cemented. Knew there would be problems with the classic tryhards. No, I haven't seen it yet. I probably won't watch it until Asmongold reacts to it, to be honest. Ooh. Level 29, huh? This is really good, but I want to be able to afford my mount. And I don't really need it. Asmon won't, as it talks about Tips out, and he's friends with Asmon, so probably doesn't want to point out the super bad stuff Tips does. Oh. Well, I mean, I'm sure Asmon's aware of that kind of stuff. The controversies of what, I don't know, I don't really watch Pilav's videos of my own volition, but I will watch them if, you know, I see someone else reacting to them. Anything would be better than a paladin? What about a paladin? That's a weird way to spell a battle cleric. Hey, if you want to do damage and attack and heal, Disc Priests. That's where you need to go. I mean, more if he won't do it publicly on stream. I don't watch PLV either, but someone posted it and I was confused, watched it, and confirmed what I thought of the guy. I mean, he's a funny guy. I'm just really not into, you know, edgy humor that much, I guess. I mean, I am to an extent, but I don't know. His humor is just not really my thing. They're enjoyable videos. He's just a little bit too racist for my liking. Like, it seems like he's joking, but I mean, is he really, with how much he talks about it constantly? I don't know. There's like no off switch, so it just comes off as kind of off-putting to me. Healing in Final Fantasy 13? Is that what that is? I'd rather not equip it. I'm currently heading back so I can go mail it off, so that it's not constantly asking me to equip this really good cloak. It's not edgy humor, it's just showing the complete mess of the tryhard classics. I don't watch the guy, he doesn't talk much in the video, it's mostly just clips of people and tips out guild. Oh. Well, I'll probably watch it then. I meant more like his other stuff. Like, if you watch all of his other videos, he constantly tells racist jokes. Like, to the point where, I don't think he's kidding. You play Smash Bros? Right, I bought my Switch basically just to play Super Smash Bros. And I haven't really played it. I have let the world know about your secret stream. You will now be bathed in a viewer. No, you're not supposed to tell anyone. It's a secret. Yeah, I didn't watch PLV. It's a bit too edgy for me, but this one video barely talks and it's clips of people. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I'm talking about past videos and stuff. It's fine. I'll still probably watch him anyway. He is entertaining. Let's see, statistics don't lie. 50% of homicides committed, 10% of the population in the US. Oh, you mean like the racist statistics? Yeah, you see, what they don't ever tell you about are like the cultural and, you know, the institutionalized reasons that go into that. It's a lot more complicated than that, and really just giving out those statistics just show how ignorant you are of those kinds of things in the first place. And that's why that's kind of a meme to bring up those statistics, you know, in an ironic setting. Stop trying to equip this to me. Let's see here. It's also a really touchy subject. There's some people who seriously believe that stuff. And it does count as politics, so I'm going to avoid it.
Go forth to victory. What do you need?
Raptor eggs. Gooey spider stuff.
Strength.
Oof. I wasn't able to finish this quest, so now I have a bunch of shit in my bags. To steal from thieves. Why wasn't this guy there? I'm gonna go try doing this quest again. How many schmeckles does this game cost? I think for Classic it's just the $15 subscription. So $15 if you just want to play Classic WoW. Blah blah blah. Who delivers mail in WoW? It's all storks. It's all magic. But you're right. I don't think they really have a lore way to deliver mail in game. Morning, everyone. Morning, dank me man. What's your zodiac sign? Do you believe in that? No. Do I believe in magic and psychics? Not unless it's backed up by science. Like astrology. Wait, isn't zodiac astrology? I forget. Or, wait, is it astrology or astronomy? I think astronomy is the legit one. And astrology is the made up one with zodiac signs and stuff, right? I forget the difference. Why was the pre-patch Chaos Bolt in Mist not in your last videos? It was not only one-shot ability, no matter defensive you used, it would kill you. In Bane of Havoc, you could 1- or 2-shot people. Because it didn't show up when I was researching the video. You know, go on Google and type in hardest hitting Chaos Bolt and tell me if you find any information about what you just said. Like, you know, go look it up yourself. And you'll see, no one writes this shit down. You just have to know it. Otherwise, you know, Nothing. It was so hard finding any kind of confirmation on any of this shit. It's the guy I need. He does exist. Why did this guy never fucking spawn for me? That's what I want to know. Hopefully I can dodge some of these abilities. Come on, get them off of me. Eggs, you got this. Get this guy too. There we go. That was a little bit scary. Astronomy is science. Astrology is the fake one. Yeah, you know, they both kind of sound similar. You know, like one of them is a hard science and the other one is made up shit. But they both sound similar. So I think that's kind of how it like confuses people. Like, I don't even know the difference of them off the top of my head. Hero forgot the Millennial Quest and Dollar Run existed. Such a noob. Oh, right. Well, that's new lore, though. We're talking about classic WoW here. Not Legion stuff. Zodiac is not made up. The Zodiac. Zodiac, that's the Chinese Zodiac, right? I mean, that's made up, too. What's the training course to learn, like, to wear mail? Have you been studying? Right? Why do you have to train to learn mail? Love your vids, man. Why, thank you, filthy peasant. Eggs. I always name my boars Kevin. Yeah, I have some on my Discord named Kevin, so I can't exactly do that. What's annoying about this version of Classic is they moved a bunch of named mobs, which is really annoying. They moved named mobs? I don't know about that. They should all be in their places from, you know, the 1.12 client. Will there be a Halloween video this year, Hero? Probably not. I spent like the first 2 weeks of October making a top 10 that had nothing to do with Halloween. And it was kind of a layover from September. So I'm just not going to be very festive this year. Shit, am I killing the wrong ones? Here, a quick question. Boxers or briefs? I prefer briefs personally. New video soon? I had a new video yesterday. You need to learn whale or you'll pinch your nipples? I guess that's true. Well, true, Zodiac is not made up. It's what the constellations are the brightest when you're born or something, but is that really anything to be made proud of? I mean, technically nothing's made up if you'd put it that way. You know, I have to use words to talk about psychics, and words are real, so technically psychics are also real. You know, that's that kind of logic right there. What is it called? A false equivalency? Throughout WoW's expansion, which version of Classic do you like the most or played the most? Which version of a class did you like the most? Oh. Probably I really liked Mista Pandaria Disc Priest. That's like the golden age of Disc. A close second is BFA Disc Priest. BFA Disc Priest is really good. You know, like, so many people complained about their classes in BFA. And I just kept feeling like, man, I'm so lucky that mine is good. Like, it's literally like, you know, it could be in its golden age. It's so good. They constantly have to nerf disc every new patch. Disc gets a new round of nerfs. It just constantly gets nerfed, including 8.3. 8.3 came out. I was like, okay, let's see what the new nerfs are. Oh shit. Of course, you know, more nerfing to the healing. Just more nerfs on everything and no buffs to anything. And then when I had to play Shadow for that one raid tier in whatever the last one we were just in, Shadow was really good. I had a lot of fun with it. And then, of course, the 8.3 client. Lots of nerfs for Shadow. It's too good. I am new to WoW, and your videos help me a lot, so thanks. I'm trying to think. My videos are not really geared towards new players, but they're not really geared towards, you know, people who've been playing for years either. I do like to over-explain things, just in case someone doesn't know everything about the game. So, yeah, I guess they are kind of new player friendly. The effect they have on people can be linked to some sort of placebo effect. Yeah, I guess. Your brain's ever able to do some pretty amazing things. You know, everybody knows that the placebo effect exists, and yet so many people don't think they can change their lives with just like simple lifestyle choices. You know, keeping to a consistent sleep schedule can drastically improve your mental health, and yet people with poor mental health will just never do it. You know, meditating has so many benefits to so many people. Not everyone, though. Not everyone gets the same benefits out of it. Because meditation is the ability to control your thoughts, which is amazing for someone who like suffers from an anxiety disorder, where they literally can't control their, you know, worrying about something. And meditation is like, you know, a super fix for that. And yet they'll never do it. People just don't understand how much control we actually have over our minds. It's just... it's too hard. It also kind of sounds fake. I've known some people who don't think psychology is real. Here, stop attacking me. Man, you always think I'm talking about you, Fell Plague. One day you'll get your ego in check. You know, you need to be more like me. You need to be aware that you have a big ego. I'm just kidding. I totally was talking about you. You know, for one of those things anyway. I don't think I've ever told you to meditate before. They fucking butchered Unholy with BFA? Yeah, I mean, I know there's some specs that suck, but, you know, my priest is not one of them. I could, like, confidently say this is probably the second best version of Disc Priest they've ever had. It's even better than its Legion version. Yeah, you've told me meditate a few times. You also missed me explaining why channel has less videos. What? You send me the top 10 things to do to stay miserable. You literally do it all the time. Fight me, mate. Well, that's because you don't. Like, you're not the only person I know who suffers from, you know, mental disorders. I actually know quite a few people like that. And out of all of them, the only person I know who actually takes steps in order to better their lives is one, and that person is me. I'm the only person I know who has, you know, mental conditions that actually takes a proactive effort in life in order to try to rectify them. Everyone else is just like a passive observer in life and just kind of hopes it goes away. And it frustrates me to no end because I don't know a way to convince them otherwise. Wow, hero, your ego is showing. You see, unlike you, I freely admit that I have an ego. You know, there is a difference. If you admit it and you actively work on trying to keep it in check, people are much more forgiving of it. Whereas if you have an ego and you're not aware that you have an ego and you just do egocentric things, people just think you're kind of a narcissist and it's off-putting. There's a way to, you know, turn everything into an advantage. Arrogance. Hero has 2-3 Yu-Gi-Oh editors now, and Grim is focused on his own channel, and I'm so lazy, so keeping with this video on the WoW channel has been hard. Wait, what? He has 2-3... I just hired one more editor. I need 3 more raptor heads. That's only because the Yu-Gi-Oh channel is doing so well. Low-hanging bait. Is this a professional counseling session? No, absolutely not. In fact, I need to have like a sign. You know, if you have mental problems, do not PM me your problems. Like, absolutely do not tell me. I have enough problems in my own personal life. I don't need to be involved in other people's as well. I am not your free therapist. You know, there's a reason they charge lots of money. Of course, negating the fact tend to have a lower IQ. I mean, those are just racist facts that are very commonly brought up by edgy people who don't know any better, and you know, dumb people who are part of the alt-right. Hero needs more lights. That's t-shirt material. And now you have people pumping out Yu-Gi-Oh scripts and stuff. Aww. Yeah, and now you have people pumping out Yu-Gi-Oh script and stuff, meaning less focus on the WoW channels. You have to keep pumping out Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. Yeah, that's true. One of them does have to suffer for the other. Damn it, my inventory's full. Shoot. Can I feed him this? It looks like I can. Add a picture of your chat in the bottom left that just says, do not message me for advice, see a therapist. That's basically what I tell people. You know, like, I get random messages occasionally where they, like, you know, tell me their life problems for some reason. And then I'm pretty blunt about telling them to, like, you know, talk to someone else. You know, talk to a family friend or something. You know, not a random YouTuber you've never talked to before. And that's also why I don't reply to random messages on Discord. Because usually they'll start off with just, you know, the normal greeting, like, hey, what's up? Or, you know, like the last video or something. And you say thanks, and they're like, oh, cool. My wife left me, and I just drank a whole bottle of bourbon. And it's like, oh, well, it's not my problem. Where did you name Rumored X come from? What was the inspiration behind it? It's just named after an anime character from Ishul21. Just type in Haruma. Everything else is added to it for a whole bunch of other just random ass reasons. There's not really too much rhyme and reason to it, and I don't actually really like it very much. I kind of wish I could change it. The hero we need. Rave drop the grass there. Only baby weebs play Yu-Gi-Oh. You know it. Like Steven... Are you calling those people dumb? Like, this is a really big political argument that shows up a lot and is repeated a lot. So I know you think you're right. I'm not going to convince you. I don't want to convince you. I make World of Warcraft videos for a living. I don't argue, you know, racist statistics and how people use them in order to frame a political ideology. You know, because I can't even say ideology correctly. I'm not the kind of person for this. You know, this is why I have the whole no politics rule. This is why I support Blizzard's no politics rule. But yes, you know, if they promote those things too, then they're probably dumb as well. Because it ignores cultural things. It's basically there to try to frame things in a negative light. You know, what other reason would there be? And then you can use the argument, well, it's just numbers, you know? It's like, ah, yes, it is just numbers, used to frame something in a negative light. You know, there's other numbers you could do as well to frame other things in negative lights. They don't really prove anything other than, yes, there's cultural things that led to an unfortunate situation that happened. This guy is yikes. Yeah. I see lots of people like that on the private server side of YouTube. So I know a lot of them exist. That's why I try to keep these things, you know, political free. Unfortunately, the thing that happened recently with Blizzard has kind of opened the floodgates on that a little bit. People don't like when you say no politics currently. Although I'd like to stick to that. You know, no politics means no politics to things you agree with as well. You know, I'm equal opportunist when it comes to that. Like a Manta a little more. Blizzard not political? Huh, they partially made up their boneheaded move though. Hey, their boneheaded move was to keep, you know, people from spouting political beliefs during a video game interview. That's something I can totally get behind. Some idiots think everything's political, even other big WoW content creators. I mean, to an extent. Like, you know, technically talking about someone's sexuality is also political. There's so many things that can come under that spectrum. A lot of people rebuke that being LGBT is political, but it's on a different spectrum than what's going on in China. Being allowed to be gay won't start. What's going on in China will. Yeah, you know, millennials like to throw that around a lot as well. You gosh darn millennials thinking everything will start World War III. That's not really what this is about either, Fell Plague. It seems like you're kind of missing the point as well. Oh boy. This is what I get for not ignoring chat well enough. You know, one of the things I like about the WoW streams over my Yu-Gi-Oh ones is I don't really have to vent the chat as much. Because my Yu-Gi-Oh chat, like half the comments are pretty toxic. You know, I have to be very careful when I'm reading stuff out. Luckily on the Yu-Gi-Oh, on the WoW side, there seems to be a little bit of a more mature audience. So I can usually just read most of the things without having to vent them too much. You know, this is what I get for being kind of lazy today. Because I just got done with a Yu-Gi-Oh stream. And I was like, oof, I can finally go to WoW and not have to, you know, read comments first before reading them out loud. That was a little bit of a mistake. You know, before I go into this cave, I should probably clear out my bags. Ooh, but it's such a long run back. Well, whatever. What, really, Hero? I haven't noticed that, but I don't mod the Yu-Gi-Oh ones. Yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh chat is straight up garbage. I have a better time with the Yu-Gi-Oh streams if I just ignore chat, basically. ignore it for the most part and just read choice things every once in a while. You know, and then heavily vet the chat so that I don't read things. So they're constantly shit posting stuff. I'm trying to, you know, post things when read out phonetically will get you to say the N-word or other bad words. Or, you know, spouting dumb political shit. Like what's been going on in this chat tonight. Let's see, League and COD. Yeah, usually, you know, my WoW audience is pretty pleasant. I kind of like that. League is really toxic? I can imagine. Yu-Gi-Oh's pretty toxic too. Wait, what? Throw in a red herring in here. 2 of my BNet friends got a horse mount drop in the past days. Does this mean I have more or less of a chance? Hey, that's how statistics work. You know, that's how, if you were a gambling person, you could totally expect it to happen after, you know, both of your friends get in it. It took me like 8 years to get the Headless Horseman mount. Worst game by far I've ever played in terms of toxicity is League. I can imagine that. Like, League is known for being toxic. I remember when Donkey made a video about him getting banned from League. And he showed like what he said. And he was like, that's all I said. And he said it as if it like wasn't a big deal, but what he did was actually a pretty toxic thing he said. And he's like, man, I see so much worse than that all the time. And it's like, that really shows something about how toxic League is. If he thought he really had a defensible opinion from what he said, compared to what's normally said in League. I'm sure you said this before, but when did you join WoW? Probably back in 2008 or something, 2009. During the middle of Wrath of the Lich King. When was WoW at its best for you? I remember when I could log into 10 garrisons every day and like pick up millions of gold. That was probably the best time of WoW. Hero, what do you think about the WoW RPG books that came out a long time ago? Also, have you played the WoW TCG? The WoW RPG books come up a lot whenever I'm looking up lore stuff. Those things are like a lore gold mine. And a lot of the stuff in there, like, they made canon, so that was pretty nice. And no, I've never played the WoW TCG. I think any large community is toxic, to be fair. Yeah, that's true. There's always going to be toxic people in any large community, even small communities. You know, that's why there's moderation, you know? That's why moderating things is great. And the only people who don't understand this are people who've probably never had to moderate a large chat before. You don't understand just, like, how much shit people post every day. Which ally race has been your favorite so far? Your least favorite? Which one would you like to see added? My favorite allied race is the Volpera. I can't wait to play more Volpera. What realm are you on? Type in ! server for that. So gonna get Pokemon Shield and Sword so we can play too. What do you think of the corruption system in BFA? I'll probably get Sword and Shield, but I don't plan on playing it very much. And the corruption system looks awesome, and I can't wait to try it out. It's going to be lit, yo. Anyone who thinks it's bad is probably like a really good raider or something. They just don't understand fun. All they want is boring, static stats. They want Titan forging. Wait, what time is it? It's pretty close to the time I gotta get off. Today's Wednesday, right? Yeah, I'll go back. Wow, TCG was actually fun. Yeah, I've heard it was. See y'all. Bye all. See you, Packer sucks. I think it's also the toxic parts of the community are also the most vocal, so they stand out the most. Yep, that's absolutely true. You know, case in point, this is a pretty small sample size, but I went through like all of my videos on my Yu-Gi-Oh channel, and I compiled like data for all of them to see, you know, which videos got watched the most. And in my data sets, I had I have a type of video where I go over like the top 10 worst cards of a certain type, and I have ones where I go over the top 10 best cards of certain types. And there's like an even amount of data for both of them. And overall, the videos that were the top 10 worst of certain types of cards performed better, like 3 times better on average. Like it was an insanely high better ratio. Like the worst videos did so much better, it wasn't even close. And the funny thing about that is, you know, at the end of every video, I ask people which videos they'd like to see next. You know, I ask them for ideas. And 99% of the ideas people ask for are positive top 10s. You know, like they want to see the best of things. So if I only went after what the people who typed in chat, I would think, you know, hey, people only want to see best of videos because that's all I ever get requested. But the data shows people love to see worst of videos because it gets 3 times more views. Now, 3 times more views on average is a gigantic statistic. Like, if it was 50% more, that would also be really good, but it was 300% more. The data is very clear in that case. And yet 99% of people ask for positive videos. So it's literally a case of like, you know, there's a minority of people who are the loudest. You really have to look at the data for these kinds of things to get a real picture of these kinds of things. Top 28 Fear Wars, look at exactly how the same they are. By the way, I heard y'all like Kira, why not join his Discord? I don't know about that, Fell Plague. People can join if they want, there's no need to urge them to join. Not the weekend, he's working. Wait, what? What did Jared C say? So you're a furry lover? You know it. I honestly thought I would hate Volpera because I'm usually anti-furry, but after that I honestly think they're really neat and I can't wait for them to be added. I kind of like them because people don't like them. And I think they're neat. So usually when I'm neutral on a topic and a lot of people don't like it, then that makes me like it even more. And that's kind of how I am with the Volpera. I'm pretty neutral on them. And, you know, people don't like them because furry things, and that makes me like them even more. They can't join if they don't know it exists. I mean, the bot tells them it exists. Are you with Sylvanas or Sourfang? I'd ride or die with Tyrande. I'm totally for Sylvanas. For the true war chief. Anyone who says otherwise is lying. Why Hero loves Wand. Heck yeah, you know it. think they will add a Mach 9. What? Oh, dude, did you guys see the new Deathwing character in Heroes of the Storm? I love it. One of the complaints I have about HOTS and what I, my own conjecture, my own theories based on nothing, I think HOTS would have done a lot better if they stopped trying to make it an esport and they just went with more crazy heroes like Abathur or Murky. And it seems like they're finally doing that after they've finally given up on esport stuff with Deathwing because he's totally crazy. He's permanently in dragon form, he's a big ass hitbox, and he's immune to CCs. That's so great. I love it. I love the idea so much. I'm so hyped for Deathwing. I'm gonna play him all the time. I can't be healed by allies, don't care. Healers don't heal me anyway. Exactly. Like, I didn't want to say that. People were talking about it. People were complaining about its meta relevance. And I was like, I don't care about your guys' opinions. I don't care about what's meta or not. I like meme builds. And I play Quick Match as my main mode anyway, where no one heals me anyway. So Deathwing is going to be perfect for the kind of mode I like to play. Whoa. He's trying to kill that thing? Impossible. I miss ammo turrets and HOTS. Do they not have those anymore? Oh, yeah, when they removed ammo. Is it confirmed as a character or is it a map mechanic? It is a confirmed character. It was confirmed like a few days ago, I think. Or maybe it was yesterday. Maybe it just feels like it was a few days ago. Abathur, Murky, Lost Vikings, Cho'Gall, Deathwing. I'm so happy. Yeah, like... Abathur, Murky, Lost Vikings, and Cho'Gall are all unique heroes. And the last one was released like, 3 years ago? There has been a very long gap since they released a gimmicky hero. So I'm glad they're finally doing it again. They really should have like half their heroes should be gimmicky as hell. That would make the game so much better. But no, like this is the first one they've done in like so long. Also, why is there 400 people watching? You guys are crazy. This is supposed to be a secret stream. None of you guys are supposed to be watching. Here, my favorite academia hero. It's totally the dude who has the ice and cold thing, Todoroki. Like, I mean, if you say anyone else, you're probably lying. Or, maybe that one girl who's able to create anything, because she has a great costume. I remember I picked up the game because it was gimmicky. Shh, it's a secret to everybody. Yeah, I picked it up because I just liked how there wasn't last hitting in it. Like, legit, that's what got me to quit Dota 2 to play Heroes of the Storm, was because it didn't have last hitting. Like, I was used to last hitting. I even played Dota 2 where they also had denies as well. I thought, hey, it's fine. You get used to it. It's not a big deal. And then once I played a MOBA without it, I just thought, this is so much better. Like, I can't believe how much better the game just feels without having to last hit shit. Oh my god, I love this. So I quit. I miss items. I will say that. Items do make the game a lot more fun. But, I really like last hitting not being in the game more than I like the items. Todoroki is such a basic white girl answer. He's so cool though. And he has 2 quirks instead of 1. Hero doesn't watch MAH. I watch like all the anime. If there's an anime that's popular and exists, I probably already read all the manga like 5 years ago. Alright, sorry, not watching anymore. Okay, thank you. Because this is supposed to be a secret. Takoyami is the shit. Is he the bird guy? Because he's also pretty cool. Funny, neighbor's wife also said I shouldn't be watching. Hey, it's not, no, I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say it's not illegal if you don't get caught, but that promotes bad practices. Which Legion class campaign was your favorite? Probably the Death Knight one. That one was like just pure, you know, it seemed like they really cared about the story with that one, and it wasn't phoned in like the priest one. It's got to be DK or Pally. I don't know about Paladin. Paladin one was kind of weak. It was like, here, let's go find a priest and convert them into a big, strong paladin. You know, because they can't do anything as a priest. Hey, let's go save the priest campaign because they can't do anything without a big, strong paladin there to help them. And then the mage one was just trying to cure a poisoned dude. It's like lame. The rogue one was pretty good. I like that one too. You had to like flush out the dread lore that was controlling everything from behind the scenes. And then you find out he was actually the one who, you know, set up the Broken Shore thing that starts off the expansion. It was all a setup because of what happened in the Order Hall campaign. And you wouldn't have known that unless you did the Order Hall campaign for the rogue. Like, it's a major lore reveal. And then you face off against a major lore character at the end of it. Like the guy who converted Arthas, I think. Or maybe it was someone else. The Hunter one sucked. Yeah, I don't even know what the hell the Hunter one was about. It's not as good as like the Rogue or Death Knight one, that's for sure. What are these shoulders you wear? They look badass, right? I think they're pretty cool. I just got them from a random quest. They're called Cutthroat's Mantle of the Monkey. Converting a beta priest to a Chad paladin, what could be better? Yeah, that's basically the Paladin Order Hall campaign. That's why people were wondering if Anduin was going to become a paladin or not. Because half of the Order Hall campaign for paladins was just converting those weak little priests into big, strong paladins. You know, culminating with them coming to save the priests. Like, the end of the Priest Order Hall campaign is basically just paladins coming in and saving him at the last second. You know, because they need the big, strong paladins to do stuff for them. After watching your video on the strongest racials in Classic, I realized why every priest in my guild is a dwarf. Yeah. Basically, people will make fun of you if you're playing Alliance and you're a priest and you're not a dwarf. They'll be like, what the hell's wrong with you? Do you not care about being optimal? They didn't even give Hakar a unique model despite his lore significance. Oh, I think I remember that. Hakar was the first demon to step foot on Azeroth, wasn't he? Or at least during the War of the Ancients. I'm pretty sure there was demons before him. Monk was probably the worst. Legion invades Azeroth and they're like, I know what we need, a brew. Let's make it our entire class story. Yeah, some of them weren't very good. And then some of them were really good, like the Death Knight and Rogue ones. Where you actually wanted to see where the story was going next. If you had to say every 2 seconds that you were a Chad, you were not. Paladin sucks. Yeah, Paladins do suck. So, when are we starting the new D&D campaign? Also, I already missed our last guy. Sunday came and passed, and I felt sad. I mean, I already told you we're going to start after BlizzCon. Probably, like, the week after BlizzCon. Because I want to start up the new one, too. I like DMing, you know. And it's great. You know, that means if you miss the campaign, that means you had a good time. And that's a good feeling. You can't feel sad about something ending unless you liked it to begin with. And if you liked it to begin with, that means you're living life. You're having a good time. That's what it means to be alive, is to have those kinds of feelings and emotions. Gosh, if only I could feel things again. Am I right, fellow gamers? I am gonna call it quits here. D&D sessions? Yeah, I host a D&D game for my Patreons. on Sundays. Half of them aren't really patrons, though. I cried when I was writing the memories, although I miffed no one else is writing in, so we're missing stuff, and it looks focused on Mead. Big mood. Hey, look, it's Bruva Albafusa. Man, love your videos. Can't wait for your next one. I've heard you've been in rendering hell, though. I totally know what you mean. Especially since you have all that After Effects things. Have you ever thought about just rendering stuff out in lower quality so that it renders faster? I cried when writing the memories, although I miffed no one else is writing it in. So we were missing stuff and it looks focused on me. That's the thing, Fel. Like, it's fine for you to write this stuff in, but, you know, since it's a collaborative effort that's supposed to be fun, it's never really a good idea to have expectations of people to, you know, put in the extra effort. People like to play the game at their own pace. And when you tell them to do extra things, you know, like write down a memoir of everything that happened, that kind of gets people not to enjoy it as much. So it's fine to have the option available, but also just have no expectations. Love your vids, man. Keep up amazing work. My friends want me to say hi, and you are their favorite content creator. Yeah, he's a Bruva. He's great. If you haven't seen If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Program, you're missing out. Hi, I adore your content too, but you already knew that, and yeah, I've had to force myself not to render stuff in lossless for this. Even so, this render hell's draining my life. Man, I saw on your, like, Patreon, I think, you said your computer restarted itself after rendering for, like, 3 days. I was like, oh my god, I couldn't imagine that. Like, the longest I have to render is probably a couple hours. Because I, like, have everything set so I don't have to render for very long. But, oh my god. I remember one time I accidentally closed out of a render after rendering for an hour, and I was super pissed. I couldn't imagine losing work after a couple days like that. The rogue mount was cool. We got multiple square mounts, like the sea albatross. The rogue mount? I don't think I ever actually unlocked the rogue mount. I always meant to, because I did do all the rogue stuff. I even, like, completed all of the mage, the order hall, no, not the mage tower. Like, I went in and did it for all 3 specs of my rogue, even though I didn't actually play it during that expansion. I played it enough in order to do the mage tower on it. Let's see here. This, and there we go. I know you use After Effects a whole lot, right? What format do you tend to render stuff in? I render everything in MP4. Because it's like, it's way faster. It has way smaller file sizes. And I don't care about having, like, the absolute most crisp quality. I just care that it's, you know, above average quality. I don't need it to be super perfect. Because I know the defaults for it is, like, AVI, and AVI is terrible to render in. So I had to, like, look up things in order to learn how to do it all in MP4. Because, like, I use After Effects in every video, just, you know, small amounts of it. I don't do the entire thing in After Effects, probably like you do. No more gone. And for those small ones, it's all just MP4. It's much faster. Much quicker renders, smaller file sizes. They also get corrupted a lot less. Because I ran into problems where, like, After Effects kept corrupting shit whenever I was rendered in AVI anyway. And funny enough, rendering it in a slightly lower quality got rid of all of the render mistakes that was happening. It was pretty great. Here you should unlock all the class mounts, all their versions, and count towards your total mount. I don't really care about mounts, though. You know, don't tell anyone, though. That's a secret. Mounts is like the thing people care about the most in the game. Also a bit late, but thanks, Fel Plague. Appreciate it. Yeah, Fel Plague, big fan. He even wanted me to contact you on my behalf. I don't know how that works. I basically told him no. I got a sneaking feeling BFA pulled a wad until they made a mess of the expansion in flavor of the next one that's going to be huge and exciting. I mean, I don't think BFA was anywhere near as bad as WoD. I just think outrage culture is bigger in BFA than it was back in WoD. But then again, there was lots of people complaining about it back then too. It's just, you know, we've had some time to look back on it. And BFA is current, while WoD is in the past. Damn it, I didn't get my thing. I just wanted to say I love your work. Next time you chat with him, lies. Remember when my entire video corrupted here and I cried for a solid 30 minutes, but then was able to fix it? That was fun. You're crazy. I only got like 9 of 36 Mage Tower, but it was fun doing all the campaigns, all the mounts. Best time in a long time. Yeah, I love it. I'm glad they're doing another solo hard thing with the new... What was it? The corrupted scenario stuff? This has not sold. I don't think people are buying Shadow. Can't hide. I'm not going to repost it again. I've already lost money on the deposits. Love your videos. Why, thank you, Bimrim. I am going to head out, though. It's midnight, and this is usually when I stop work and playing video games so that I can just read for 2 hours before I go to bed.
What is it?
It's corrupted the entire setup. I had the footage and everything, but the save file for the video corrupted. For some reason it changed to PNG, so I had to revert it to a save file. That's weird. How did you convert it into a PNG? Hello. Hello there. Alright, I'm going to go now. Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.